There comes a day when something inside you snaps, when you realize the world doesn't owe you clarity, comfort, or purpose. That day, when I uncovered the secret that changed my mind forever, I stopped chasing motivation and started mastering myself. It wasn't a book, it wasn't a mentor, it wasn't luck. It was a brutal truth hidden in plain sight, that every weakness you refuse to face becomes the chain that keeps you enslaved. I learned that power isn't given, it's forged. And from that moment, my mind was never the same again. 1. The world rewards control, not emotion. The day I discovered this secret, my world changed. I realized I wasn't losing because I lacked talent, intelligence, or opportunity. I was losing because I reacted. Every insult, every betrayal, every failure pulled me into the fire of my own emotions. And every time I reacted, I surrendered control. But one day, I stopped. I stopped letting people rent space in my head for free. I stopped fighting battles that didn't deserve my energy. I learned that the most dangerous man is the one who feels deeply but shows nothing. Because silence, real silence, is power. It's the weapon that disarms chaos. Most people are slaves to their feelings. They let anger dictate their tone, fear dictate their decisions, and sadness dictate their pace. But emotion is only powerful when it's mastered. Control doesn't mean suppression. It means direction. When you feel rage, use it to sharpen your discipline. When you feel pain, turn it into fuel. When you feel fear, let it build awareness, not paralysis. The world doesn't reward emotion. It rewards composure. People follow the calm, not the loud. They trust the one who doesn't flinch under pressure, not the one who screams about pressure. In chaos, the calm man becomes king. So I trained myself to control my inner storms. When I was hurt, I learned to stand still. When I was angry, I learned to breathe. When I was betrayed, I smiled. Not because I was weak, but because I refused to hand my enemies the satisfaction of seeing me break. The truth is brutal. If you can't control your mind, someone else will. And they will use it to sell to you, to manipulate you, to destroy you slowly. The day I understood this was the day I became dangerous, because I realized power isn't about strength or dominance. It's about control, and the one who controls himself controls everything. 2. Comfort is the most beautiful trap. Comfort looks harmless. It speaks softly, offers you rest, and promises peace. But behind its smile lies the slow death of every dream you've ever had. When I was young, I thought success meant ease. I thought the goal was to escape pain, not to master it. But comfort is a slow poison. It dulls your hunger, erases your urgency, and convinces you that tomorrow is guaranteed. You don't even notice it at first. You take one day off. You call it rest. Then 2 days, recovery. Then a week, mental health. And before you realize it, the fire inside you has gone cold. You've built yourself a soft prison and called it peace. The greatest lie comfort tells is that you deserve it, but you haven't earned it yet. You haven't bled enough for it. You haven't suffered for it. You haven't conquered anything that grants you that rest. The truth? Pain is not the enemy. It's the path. Every discomfort you feel, every failure, rejection, or hardship is a call to evolve. Those who embrace pain grow. Those who avoid it decay. The ones who chase comfort become predictable, weak, replaceable. But the ones who chase growth, even when it hurts, they become unstoppable. So I stopped chasing ease. I started seeking resistance. I ran toward what scared me, and the fear became smaller. I stayed when others quit, and endurance became my second nature. Comfort whispers lies, but discomfort reveals truth. And the truth is, the greatest version of yourself lives on the other side of pain. That's where the fire burns. That's where the hunger returns. That's where you stop existing and start living. Dharmalyung De 3. You don't deserve respect. You command it. Respect is not something you receive. It's something you extract. The moment you believe you deserve it, you've already lost it. The world doesn't care about your potential, your feelings, or your excuses. It cares about results. It listens to strength. For years, I begged for acknowledgement. I wanted people to see my effort, to understand my struggle. But I realized the world isn't blind. It just doesn't care. So I stopped explaining. I stopped seeking sympathy. Instead, I built silence around my goals like armor. I stopped asking for validation and became validation. When you're strong, you don't need to convince anyone. Your actions become your argument. Your consistency becomes your crown. Every moment you spend trying to prove your worth to the wrong audience, you delay your evolution. Respect comes when you no longer need it. It comes when your presence speaks louder than your words. So I stopped talking. I started doing. And when people finally noticed, I was already too far ahead to care. Power doesn't beg. It doesn't wait to be respected. It forces the world to adjust. That's the secret. You don't earn respect through words. You command it through your existence. Diary 4. Discipline is the closest thing to freedom. Freedom isn't found in doing whatever you want. It's found in mastering yourself so completely that you can do what others can't. Most people think freedom is breaking rules, avoiding structure, and chasing pleasure. But that's not freedom. That's slavery to your own impulses. True freedom is waking up before your weakness does. It's training when no one's watching. It's choosing the hard path when the easy one begs for you to take it. Discipline builds power quietly. It doesn't shout. It doesn't celebrate. It just wins, silently, repeatedly, eternally. When you are disciplined, you stop being controlled by mood. You become a machine of purpose. You stop negotiating with laziness, doubt, and fear. Freedom comes from structure. The one who can command his body, his habits, and his emotions, that one is untouchable. Discipline strips away weakness. It forces you to grow where you resist. It gives you time, energy, and peace, not because life becomes easier, but because you become stronger. When you master yourself, nothing external can master you. That is the highest form of freedom. Yamcha 5. The mind becomes its beliefs. The final secret is the one that rewired my entire existence. Your mind is your world, and your world obeys your beliefs. If you think small, you live small. If you think like a victim, you remain one. But if you think like a conqueror, your reality begins to bend. The subconscious doesn't argue with you. It obeys you. Every thought you repeat becomes a command. Every word becomes a law. For years, I spoke like a loser. I can't. I'm tired. It's too late. And my life listened. But when I changed my language, when I started saying I will, I am, I can, everything shifted. Not instantly, but gradually. Powerfully, you become what you tell yourself. The world mirrors your inner dialogue, and the universe responds to the frequency of your belief. So I started commanding my mind. Every morning, I told it what to do, not what to feel, and it obeyed. Because the mind is not loyal to truth, it's loyal to repetition, and that is the secret that changed my mind forever. Conclusion. The awakening. The secret that changed my mind forever wasn't written in a book. It wasn't whispered by a mentor. It was carved into my soul by pain, silence, and time. I realized no one was coming to save me, not luck, not destiny, not anyone. The world doesn't hand out crowns to those who wish. It gives them to those who conquer. And to conquer, I had to destroy the old version of myself, the emotional one who reacted to everything, the comfortable one who feared discomfort, the weak one who begged for respect instead of commanding it, the lazy one who mistook freedom for indulgence, the doubtful one who spoke failure into existence every single day. Each secret was a weapon. Control became my armor, discomfort became my forge, discipline became my foundation, belief became my sword. I stopped chasing balance and started chasing power. Not power over others, but power over myself. Because that's the only battle that ever mattered. People talk about finding peace, but peace without strength is just surrender. They talk about being happy, but happiness without purpose is just distraction. And they talk about freedom, but freedom without control is just chaos. The truth is, the mind is a kingdom, and most people are slaves in their own empire. They obey their impulses, their fears, their distractions. They serve comfort as if it were a god. But the few, the rare few, awaken. They see through the illusion. They break the chains of comfort, emotion, and weakness. And in the ashes of their old selves, they rebuild something divine, a mind of iron, a spirit of discipline, a heart of control. That's the secret. That's what changed everything. Not success, not fame, not validation, but mastery. The quiet, relentless, ruthless mastery of one's own mind. Because when you control your mind, you control your reactions. When you control your reactions, you control your world. And when you control your world, you become something far greater than successful. You become untouchable.